We are live. Let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome back to another live and amplified Indie Fusion podcast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we're back at it again with another amazing podcast. Today, we have a very special guest joining us. We have Sophia Eliana. How's it going?
It's going well. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to sit down and chat with you, talk about the new single. So how's everything going with that?
It's going well. It will be the first single in a whole album that will be rolling out in the coming months. So I'm happily anticipating people finally get to hear it for the first time.
Nice. So this is 100% brand new. You've never played it out live or anything?
I've played it live. I have a really hard time keeping songs to myself once I write it. I'll perform live the next day once I write something.
Fair.
But the song has a full band behind it, so it's never been heard like that before, which is fun.
Sweet. So you got a new song dropping on Friday. How long's like this whole project kind of been in the works? Like obviously a full project takes a little bit more effort, but how long have you been working on it?
Yeah, let's see. I wrote the song. The song's called Spaghetti Walls. I wrote Spaghetti Walls about a year ago, last January. And it was around that time I was opening up for Spector Jones, a band that was coming through Denver. Mm-hmm. And one of the band members, Jake, happened to be a producer, and I just kept in touch with him and his buddy Noah. The two of them opened up Wonder House Studios out in LA. So I believe it was this past October, I flew out there and recorded 2 songs with them just to test the waters. Spaghetti Walls was one of them. And then I loved working with them, had so much fun. And so I went back in January and recorded the rest of the songs. So yeah, it's been about a year process from the birth of the song to now.
Yes. And that's the full project, right? like that's actually a pretty quick turnaround. Like when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, it's like from birth to, or from like conception to birth. It's, I was about to say birth to birth. I was like,
I know, birth.
That makes no sense, but you know, it is what it is. We're rolling with it.
We're rolling spaghetti, you know?
Yep. Throwing spaghetti at the wall.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, no, that's really cool. Like, they really quick turnaround, and you're originally from California, correct?
Yes, I'm from Monterey area, so just a bit more up north.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I was gonna say I'm not familiar. Like I'm not totally in the know of the California geography, but you know, so.
Yeah, it's kind of smack in the middle. I always say it's 2 hours south of San Francisco to gauge where it is. California is so long. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I do the exact same. So I'm in Texas. I do the exact same thing there. Right. It's like, yep, I am literally the halfway point between Dallas and Austin.
Perfect.
So it gives people 2 very iconic destinations, and just halfway between, there I am.
Right on. Middle.
I love it. And so then, so with the new single coming out on Friday, what's kind of, as you approach this finish line, the first finish line, then you got several more finish lines to get to. But as you kind of approach this end of this stage, what's kind of running through your mind?
Yeah, I'm really excited to get this out. I'll be hitting the road for the East Coast in May for a tour with the new band I'm in. And so I'm really excited to start bringing these songs that I wrote in my bedroom that were then recorded with the band, and then to play them live with a new group of people. Mm-hmm. So that's sort of what is on tap next. I'm feeling the springtime jitters where things are to fruition right now, which rocks.
Nice. You come down to Texas at all, or you pretty much go between like the East Coast and West Coast?
Just East Coast and West Coast. I'm pretty much couch surfing. So wherever I have a bed, I don't have any connections in Texas yet, but one day.
Fair. It's one of those things where it's like you got to go where you have the connection so you can keep your costs low, especially as a independent musician. So,
Totally. It's the name
yeah,
of the Oh yeah.
right, right. And so, this album that's coming out, I think you said this is your sophomore album.
It's my sophomore album. It's my first studio album, which is really, really exciting. So yeah, I think there will be. I'm actually flying out next week to wrap it up entirely, to add another song or two on. But
Nice.
full
That,
length.
that was actually going to be my next question. Like everything's recorded and all that stuff, but it sounds like you've still got a little bit more work to do on it.
Yeah, pretty much everything's recorded. And I sat with it, and I really wanted to record one more that I was thinking about that is already out, that I wanted to hear it with the full band. So messaged the guys. They're like, heck yeah, come out here. So I'm gonna totally wrap all of it up next week.
Nice. And so, what's kind of the timeline look like leading up to the final release of the full project? Are you doing like traditional three singles, or what's that kind of timeline look like?
I am still figuring that out. I'm still spaghetti at the walls. A lot of the songs are very upbeat and danceable. That was something I really wanted for this project. And then there's a sprinkling of more a cappella, super calm, omnichord style tunes. So I'm having a hard time gauging whether to come out with the bangers first or have a little calm folk moment as a single, but I definitely want to drop a few and then have hopefully the full album out in summertime.
Right. I would definitely say you want to find a mix because I feel like if you throw out all the bangers at one time, people are going to come in and get disillusioned by the album because it's like, oh, all the bangers are out. Well, now the rest of the album doesn't kind of
Oh,
yeah. So
totally. Yeah, it's a good idea.
yeah. Oh, so I'm really excited to hear the new single dropping on Friday. Are you doing like, obviously for singles, it's very hit or miss about doing like release shows and whatnot, especially when it's all building towards an album. But do you look plan shows around releases, or is it because this is kind of a bigger project? You kind of
Yeah, I'm just sort of letting the songs roll out. I have a show in Denver 2 weeks from now. A couple shows this month actually around Colorado.
Mhm.
So no show that is specific to the song. I've also been playing the song so much the last year or so that it doesn't feel like so a new baby to me. It's
Mhm.
weird. But I'm a part of a residency out in Fort Collins right now, and so
Nice.
I test the waters and spread the word. So that's been really special.
Nice. So you brought something up that I kind of want to touch on because I feel like it's an important thing for musicians, and it's like six of one, half dozen of the other. Like if musicians record music and then just release it without actually playing it, or if they'll play it out for a year and then kind of decide to record it. How have you kind of seen this single? We'll talk about this single specifically. How have you kind of seen it progress as you've started playing it out more, or has it just kind of stayed pretty much the same and it's just, yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun question. Pretty immediately, I would say when I first started playing the song, it hasn't changed much from when I first started performing it until now.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have a little bit more grit and confidence when I play it now since I have some more time under my belt.
Right.
But this song in particular, it's just so high energy and fun and sassy. And so I think that really stood out to the crowds I've played it to.
Mm-hmm.
I could see when they're smiling. I always joke that I have banger songs and then I have bathroom songs. And the bathroom songs are when I'm watching the audience and they kind of fidget or they get up and take a break or they go to the bar during the song. And this one, thankfully, everybody sits still for. So
Yes. I love it. And I mean, that's honestly kind of a good approach to kind of look at it. Like as wrong as it feels to be like, especially when you're playing like a 2 hour set, you're it's naive to think that everybody's going to sit through an entire 2 hour set without having to get up to go to the bathroom, go take a smoke, like whatever it is. So just kind of planning your songwriting around that, or like even if it's unplanned, but being aware that that's happening is kind of shows a lot of wisdom, you know.
Oh.
So, but yeah, no, I'm really excited to hear the full project, and glad that we connected on Instagram. We were trying to break our way in, like, so I lived in New Mexico for 4 years, and we've been trying to do some more stuff up into Colorado because we never really got in there, like as far as doing like live in person stuff, but been trying to break into that market for a while now. So
Awesome. Well, I'm happy you found me.
yeah, it's and so where in Colorado are you? Are you more in like Denver area, or where are you kind of at right now?
I'm right in Denver.
Right in
Yep.
Denver. Okay. We tried to book a live podcast in Colorado Springs, and I was talking to a couple people, and they're like, honestly, it's such a new scene here that it might be a little bit before you could actually like do something here. So,
Oh, interesting. I haven't played any shows out in Colorado Springs yet. I have to dip my toe into that.
right.
Denver's
It,
pop music scene for sure.
oh, I've got a lot of friends that are like moving, like they're all coming from like California, and they're either coming to Texas where I'm at, or they're going up to Colorado, mainly Denver area. So yeah, that's cool. So
Yeah.
um, and so you've got the album coming up. You got the single dropping on Friday, and then do you know what the next two singles will be, or is that still kind of all, or
I,
next
I
few?
don't know yet. I think I'll take your word of advice. I'll probably release a calmer song.
Mm-hmm.
There's a song of mine I've been on the fence with whether to release because
Mm-hmm.
it's a love song and it has to do with a recent breakup. And I love the song, but I still have a little heartache. And so it's that weird, tender period where the project happens so fast that I'm still in the songs emotionally, where I'm like, okay, maybe if I wait on that one and have less focus on it and put it with the whole project. But I'm keeping my eye on that song and still thinking about it.
Nice. Sounds like that would be almost a good February, like a good Valentine, like a nice. Even though it's a breakup song, I feel like the juxtaposition of a breakup song around Valentine's Day is always kind of interesting. You know,
Yeah, definitely. Some good duality in there, some
right?
balance.
I don't I don't know if you want to wait that long, but maybe it's worth it. So
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Keep you posted.
nice. Yeah. So outside of music, obviously you staying busy. Music seems to be keeping you pretty busy. But what do you like to do outside of music?
Yeah. Well, recently I've been into painting again. I picked
Yes.
back my paintbrushes. I just painted some chickens on my kitchen wall, so that's been fun. And other than that, lots of dancing. That's another side gig of mine. So I'm teaching anywhere from 2-year-olds and tutus to adults in my adult classes. That's been keeping me busy, that's for sure.
Nice. I was waiting for you to say 2 year olds and tutus and adults, and just find another.
And something
Yeah.
adult in oh gosh, I can't even think of a. I honestly treat the classes very similar. I blow bubbles in my 2-year-old class and I blow bubbles in my adult class while they're doing their sit-ups. It works both ways.
Right. Right. It's like 2 year olds in tutus and ladies in leotards, but then I'm assuming there's probably also men in the class, so that feels a little weird, but I don't know.
Lads and ladies and everybody in leotards. We'll find something, workshop it.
Yeah, it's in beta. We'll be all right. It's in
Yeah.
beta. So that's cool. How long have you been? I'm assuming you've probably been dancing for your entire life then?
I have. I started when I was 3, so many, many moons ago, and I've been teaching about the last 10 years.
Nice. And where does music kind of come into play with that? Is that like, was the dancing what introduced you to music, or was like your love of music what introduced you to dancing? I guess that's a chicken egg question, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I think my mom always jokes that I came out of the womb dancing and singing. So I would say it came together same time. And I would always be singing, humming around the house. I think dance maybe came first. I was gifted a guitar when I was 13, and that was
Nice.
let's go. It's time to get serious about it. 13. And I had lots of fun learning that. But more recently, through this residency I've been doing out in Fort Collins, I've had the opportunity to blend choreographing dance in a company to some of my music on the album. So that's been really beautiful to see those two worlds and loves of mine intertwined together.
I feel it. I love it. Um, and so, how long have you been in Denver now? All right.
It will be 2 years this coming July, so about a year and a half.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
so. What was the thought moving to Denver? Was that someplace you always kind of wanted to go to, or?
No, so I was finishing up undergrad in Maine on a teeny tiny island, and I always say that that was a really beautiful incubator period of time where I was storing my matches in my matchbox, and then when I moved out to Denver, I like lit the box and I was like, "Let's go, move into a."
Yeah.
But my main reason I moved out here, my sister moved here the last, I think it was around COVID, so several years ago. And we're super tight. And I was like, I don't really care where I move next. I want to move off of the island. There were more sheep than humans, and and I've loved it out here. So it's been great, treating me well.
And you said that was in Maine, right?
Yes.
I don't even know. I didn't even know that there was an island off of Maine, but that's
There,
really cool.
yeah, lots and lots of islands. I was on Mount Desert Island.
So, what schools out? Is it like a commu What kind of schools out there?
Yeah, that was College of the Atlantic. I
Okay.
transferred out there, so I was going to a couple different schools, but landed at that one.
Nice. Now, was that just like, I want to get as far away from home as possible? And it was like a rebellious thing, or was it like a little bit more strategic than that?
Um, that's a funny question. Maybe a little combo of both. I don't know how much rebellion there was in it. It was more so I moved back in with my mom during COVID.
Hmm.
I think I had my rebellious stint right after graduating high school. I went to Berkeley College of Music on their campus in Spain, and I was like, I want to go far, get out of my hometown. And I loved it, but I also got super burnt out and moved back home with my mom. And in the height of COVID, I was itching to be around people my age. And my cousin was going out to school in Maine and we were writing letters back and forth to each other. And she said, I'm taking classes in the garden. I'm learning about bees. And I was like, that sounds really cool. So it was more of just another opportunity. I didn't know that I would end up graduating from there. I thought it would be I'd try it out, maybe go back to Berkeley. And then I was like, no, this is cool. I like hanging with the sheep. I like Maine. So it was just sort of rolling with the punches, and it was a great punch.
Nice. Now, because those are two very extreme moves. Like, you literally moved across the world the first time and then across the country the second time. Did you find that you found more appreciation for your hometown, like once you left and kind of got these other experiences?
I think so. I think so. I feel very lucky to have grown up in Monterey. It's so lovely out there. But I also just needed some separation from some folks out there, and so that was driving both of the moves. And I'm a Sagittarius, so I love moving around and the adventure.
Fair, fair. I'm trying to figure out what makes me move as much as I do. Like the fact that I've been in Texas now since 2019, I'm starting to get a little itchy, but it's like,
Hey,
you know what though? I don't really want to move anymore. Like I'm tired. I'm good. So
yeah. That's good.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I think I'm good. Like my dad hates the fact that I'm in Texas because he lives in South Florida now, and he's like, at least move back to Chicago so we could see both our kids in one move. But
Oh,
you
oh,
know, so it's like, yeah, I like it out here in Texas, so I'm happy. So
that's good. That's good. That's the best feeling. I was just talking to a friend about that earlier
mm,
today, where when the dust sort of settles and like you haven't had that anxious bug in your brain of like it's time to go, it's time to move.
but
It's refreshing to have both feet on the ground somewhere.
oh yeah, 100%, 100%. So how's the independent music scene out in Denver?
It's awesome. It is so awesome. I felt super lucky when I moved out here. I now a friend of mine, Sarah Adams. I slid into her DMs before I even moved out to Denver, and
Mhm.
we met for coffee. And she's a musician out here, and we sat down and she shared this amazing spreadsheet. It was the golden ticket to the Denver music scene, and it had her favorite venues, what she loved about it. And so from the second I moved here, everybody, especially herself, was so encouraging and open and community forward. So it's been just, yeah, amazing getting to know people.
Nice.
It's more tight knit and small than I expected in a cool way.
Nice. Well, I might have to hit you up for that key to the Denver music
Yeah,
scene.
golden spreadsheet, yes.
Yeah. Because like literally we started doing this live podcast thing and like we wanted to come up to Colorado and I couldn't find a single venue. Like I mean, I know there's venues in Denver, but everything that I found it felt like they were like big amphitheater type place or like
Mm.
not House of Blues, but like House of Blues type places where it's like you've got to be able to draw in several hundred people to be worth playing there.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, I don't know why there's not like I can't find a single bar that seems like they would play music. And everybody's like, no, they're out there. You just gotta kind of find what works for you. And I'm like, give me a name, something. That would be great.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll talk. I've got some places.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. But no, that's really cool that you've got a cool place out in Denver, and it feels like that's kind of becoming one of the new like music destinations. Like as much as Austin's kind of like doing its thing, and you've always had Nashville, I feel like Denver's kind of doing something for the West Coast a little bit. So
Yeah, definitely. And I feel this little spoiled too. My favorite artists always come through Denver. So
yeah,
that's been fun to go see them too.
right. Who have you been listening to recently?
Ooh, huge fan of Anna Tibble. My sister got me hooked on her, and we're total Anna Tibble groupies and have gone to every single show she's played in Denver since we've lived here.
Nice. Nice.
So yeah, anytime she comes through, we're like, okay, we're getting tickets, and they're always small, intimate shows, which is my favorite. I don't love the big amphitheater shows to attend.
Mhm.
So.
It's like you don't have to worry about somebody sneaking up behind you because it's like it's a little bit more of a chill vibe where as
Yeah,
you go to like these big stadium shows and it's like I don't trust anybody here because who knows what's going to happen. So,
yeah, I feel that too. I went to a big show. I went to oh gosh, who was I seeing? It was at Mission Ballroom, and Mission Ballroom's so fun.
mm,
But I did feel a little spooked too, just being in such a big crowd. And
mm,
yeah, I like to be able to see people's faces in the room.
oh yeah. It's one of those things where like you just crowds are so unpredictable. You just never know. Like they're little like this is what kind of set me off the idea of being in like big crowds. I went to a football spring not spring training but like their training camp
Hmm.
and for the Chicago Bears, which is the football team that I support. And
Cool.
I was sitting there, I was just sitting up against the fence, and one of the guys came over. He was signing autographs for kids and whatnot. And all of a sudden, like 700 people just bum rush this, like, not a chicken wire fence, but, like a standard, like, schoolyard fence that's like chain link or whatever.
Yeah.
Like 700 people were pushing up against this fence, and I'm leaning up against this fence,
Cool.
getting crushed against it. And I'm like, guys, guys, and nobody's listening. And it was like this crowd had a mind of its own.
My
Like
God.
they were trying to get through this fence. And I'm like, I just got down on the ground and I was like, I feel better off just trying to like defend myself off from the ground. Like, yeah, I'd rather get trampled on versus getting crushed because that's what was about to happen. And yeah,
Oh
ever
man. Were
ever
you?
since,
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, I was fine. It was just one of those things where it was like you, after they like finally security got them to back off or whatever, and they're like, you see the fence and like, or normally a fence is standing straight up, the fence is doing one of these numbers, and I'm like, yo, that was the craziest. Like you have no control over anything, and it's just like
Uh,
I'm gonna stick in my small crowds. You
yeah.
guys can have the rest of that. I'm good. So.
Sounds good. I don't want to be anywhere where I need to wear a helmet to feel safe.
Right, right, right. Oh man. So you mentioned outside of music, you like to do dancing and paint, right? Painting.
Yeah, yeah. I'm starting to get back into painting just a little bit.
What kind of painting is it? Like life. I'm gonna sit here and pretend
Yeah.
like I know what kind of
Oh,
paintings.
literally, just think of some chickens, and I just painted some chickens on the wall. Like
Yes.
that's what we did. That's what I did. My next thing I want to paint is a little door in our kitchen, like a
Mhm.
little mouse door. We have a mouse problem, so I'm like, okay,
Uh,
I'm gonna make the most of it and make it cute at least.
fair, fair. Hey, go for it.
Yeah.
It's. Do you find that helps inspire your songwriting process?
Hmm. Um, I think it gets me off of my phone, and that definitely impacts how easily songs can come out of me.
Fair.
Um, yeah, I love anything crafty. I love knitting as well. Just starting to get into sewing too. Things to busy me, and that the busyness of a craft quiets my mind, and
Mhm.
that is heaven to me. And then that definitely opens up the channel for songwriting.
Mhm.
The less media I'm consuming, the more I really tune into what's going on
Right.
with me. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think it's like the more repetitive motion of like, you have to think
Mm,
about what you're doing, but you can kind of get into a rhythm and just kind of, is that kind of what you like about like sewing and all that kind of stuff or?
yeah, I hadn't thought about it like that, but it does, especially knitting, it becomes a sort of a meditation. I'll bring
Mhm.
my purse with me. And so if I'm meeting somebody at a coffee shop or at their house, I can just craft away. But it does drop me into a very calm state.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you totally mentioned that, the repetitive motion of it.
Yeah. That's the one thing that's like when I'm getting a little fidgety, it's like,
Mm.
okay, whether it's video games or something where I don't necessarily have to think about what I'm doing and I can just kind of let the repetitive motion take over. It's like
Uh,
sweet.
yeah.
So, but I don't want to keep you here too much longer. As far as kind of future plans, obviously you got the full project coming out, and as like more singles are ready to get dropped, leading up to that, I'm sure you'll put it out on Instagram and all that fun, all the socials and fun stuff. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
where are you kind of at show wise? I know you'd mentioned your East Coast trip. Are you playing pretty consistently in Denver right now, or where are you kind of at there?
Definitely. I'm playing a lot in Denver. I sort of went through a transition period last winter. I
Mm.
was playing a lot of bars, and if you listen to my music, it's pretty much very calm folk, and which was not conducive to bars. And there was one show in particular that kind of rocked my boat in a negative way, where I just had a bunch of drunk dudes come up to me and start critiquing my music. And that took the fun and passion out of it for a second. So I took a small hiatus and then took a step back to think about what shows I wanted to play and was more intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say I was able to do that because I got some additional side jobs. And previously, when I first moved to Denver, I was just doing music,
Mm-hmm.
which worked for a little bit until I was playing gigs to pay my rent that really just destroyed me. Um, So my shows now that I'm playing are more intimate, and that has been just, awesome. And again, I can read people's faces more and how the songs are landing. And I'm like joking at my shows, so I can joke with the audience more easily. People aren't tripping over booze.
Sure.
So.
It's unfortunate that those negative situations have to happen, but I feel like in this situation, it led to a better situation. If you don't, because it's like now, yes, you may not be playing as much as you want to, but I feel like the gigs you're playing now are being more beneficial.
Totally. That's totally it. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was sitting there, in my head, I was like, did I say that right? I feel like I said that right. Yes, I said that right. So,
yes.
yeah. Because like in my head, it's like, oh, this is a very convoluted way of saying things, but it is what it is. So, but yeah, really enjoyed the conversation. I really appreciate your time. If anybody wants to check out your music, your new stuff as it comes out, your shows, all that fun stuff, where's the best place to find you?
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me again. You can find me under Sophia Eliana. I'm on Instagram at the Sophia Eliana, and my website, sophiaeliana.com. That has all the art things you'll need to know about me, and to connect through that.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, once again, I appreciate you so much for taking the time to sit down. Sorry, it feels like this has been in the works for a very long time, but then going back through and looking, it's like, oh, it's really not been that bad. So
no, this is awesome. Happy to be having me.
Absolutely. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will catch you all later.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Live and Amplified's Indie Fusion podcast. If you'd like to support anything Live and Amplified does, please follow us on all of our social media platforms at Live, the letter N, Amplified. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, Threads, any of them, all of them, at Live, the letter N, Amplified. And if you would like to buy any official Live and Amplified merch, you can do so at our merch shop, link in the description below. Once again, thank you all. Have a great day.